This is a presentation brought to you by Lauren Swee on Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Howard Gardner was born on July 11, 1943 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He attended Harvard University and studied under Erik Erikson, who is most commonly known for his theory of psychosocial development and the phrase identity crisis. He got his A.B. in social relations and he got his Ph.D. in developmental psychology. He began teaching at Harvard Graduate School of Education in 1986, and he's most commonly known for his theory of multiple intelligences, which is outlined in his book, A Frame of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences. Here's a little bit more about the multiple intelligence theory. Gardner proposed that each person possesses 7 distinct and different intelligences. People can possess several intelligences at one time, but 1 or 2 will be more prevalent than others. When teachers are educated and aware of these intelligences, they can create a comfortable classroom that makes students feel desired and practice different disciplines and theories that help students understand content more thoroughly. Now let's take a look at Gardner's different intelligences. Gardner originally proposed 7 intelligences in 1986: logical mathematical, linguistic, musical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. In the mid-1990s, he began to discuss an 8th intelligence, naturalistic, in which students enjoy and learn in nature. We are going to dive in depth into the first 7. Logical mathematical students have a strong ability to use reason, logic, and numbers. Linguistic learners, or verbal language learners, use words and language well. Musical, rhythmic learners produce and appreciate music. Spatial students are visual learners. These are your more traditional students. Bodily kinesthetic learners are able to control their body movements and handle objects skillfully. Interpersonal learners are social and relate to and understand others. Intrapersonal learners have a strong awareness of one's own inner state and ability to self-reflect. Implementing activities that include a multitude of these intelligences can greatly benefit students and teachers. There are several benefits of incorporating multiple intelligence activities into your classroom. First, incorporating different intelligences increases student motivation and participation because students feel valued. Students are more comfortable and feel more confident because learning is more flexible. The MI theory also incorporates different methods of assessing students' understanding. This gives students more independence and freedom to be creative and unique. MI also encourages teachers to branch out and learn more about these intelligences and how to create and incorporate different activities that engage a multitude of learners. Lastly, this theory can alter teachers' perspectives of their students in a positive way. Teachers are able to see how and where their students excel and grade them more appropriately. Here are some examples of how I was able to assess students using multiple intelligences. The first activity is called the foldable. I gave students a packet showing them how to create the different flaps and then what goes on each flap, but they had to put steps into their own words. As we learned different methods of factoring, we added to our foldable and then used this when completing homework assignments. This is a good resource for kinesthetic, logical mathematics, spatial, and linguistic learners. The next activity was done at the beginning of the school year, and it is the About Me project. Students decorated a standard piece of paper with facts about themselves that could be answered with a number. Then they created an expression using the order of operations that gave you the answer. This activity benefited kinesthetic, logical mathematical, linguistic, spatial, and intrapersonal learners. The last project was a hands-on learning experience that mostly benefited my logical, mathematical, and kinesthetic learners. However, they were able to work in groups or by themselves to create a standing structure, which benefited both intrapersonal and interpersonal learners. The students chose a structure they wanted to build and then wrote a paper on how math was applied, the materials used, and detailed instructions on how to create their structure, which benefits linguistic and spatial learners as well. The cross and stool are both made from wood, and the giraffe was made using entirely clay pots. There were not many negatives discussed when researching the MI theory. The main concern for teachers was the preparation and organization that went into these detailed lessons. Teachers felt it was difficult to implement all of the intelligences into a single lesson. Another issue with MI is based on cultural values that are placed on standardized tests. A lot of schools focus on scores based on the ACT and SAT, which only benefit spatial, linguistic, and logical mathematical students. Therefore, implementing multiple intelligence activities may be doing a disservice to students because we are not preparing them for the types of assessments they will be encountering in the future. Lastly, one research showed that traditional students may not adjust well to MI activities. I can relate to this because I am a more traditional learner and prefer a lecture-style lesson. After researching and observing MI practices, I'm an advocate for differentiating instruction to meet the needs of all learners. MI not only enhances students' performance, but it also increases teachers' effectiveness. Interviews conducted confirmed that both teachers and students enjoyed learning using the MI practices because teachers and students felt more confident and felt that they could be more creative. In the future, I think it is beneficial to determine how students learn best at the beginning of the year. This can be done with a student survey or something like the About Me project mentioned at the beginning of this presentation. Direct instruction will no longer work in the 21st century. One study showed that 47% of learners were kinesthetic learners, so as teachers, we need to create lessons that get students active and involved. Hands-on learning activities like the Standing Structure Project are a great way to assess students and get them doing something they enjoy. Teachers can use the MI theory to assess students in multiple ways. Some examples include group projects, oral reports, debates, and problem-solving tasks. In order to effectively implement MI theories, we are going to have to incorporate technology into our lessons. Students today live on their phones, and there are so many resources available, from flipping the classroom to a virtual learning experience to live application softwares. To close, here is one example where I assess students' understanding by having them create a music video using one of their favorite songs by Bruno Mars and a method of distributing called foil.
If you ever find yourself struggling with foiling, I'll sing this song to inform you. If you ever find yourself struggling with foiling, I'll sing this song to guide you. To find out what this word means, first, outer, inner, last is how you lead. The first in each parentheses gets multiplied, and then you do the